Go love your own enemies. Don't be loving mine. My enemies are the theocratic fascists. I don't love them. I want to destroy them.
You're a child made in the image of God. Oh no, you're not. You're a faggot. And you can't join your church and you can't go to heaven. This is disgraceful. It's inhuman.
Hey there. Okay. I actually thought I would try to make a video before I trundle off to class. I have now survived the first week of the bus driver trainee class and the first weekend of driving around in a 40-foot bus. I haven't hit anything or killed anything. I did run over a few curbs. We need to work on looking at our pivot point, which is the tire on the rear axle. But I'm getting better at that too. I'm getting better at looking at my mirrors. I have one more week of class, actually 4 more days of class, and then next week, this coming weekend, we're going to be trying to drive the 60-foot articulated buses on Saturday, and then the 60-foot hybrid buses on Sunday. And then Sunday, part of Sunday, we're also going to be back to driving the 40-foot buses because the following Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday is when we take the CDL test. And I've been working on the memorization. I have 2 pages left of this 9-page monologue that I need to memorize. So it's coming along. Okay, but I had a thought this morning about somebody was bitching on Facebook about another atheist being angry. I don't know if this person is a former Christian or not, but I think she is. And it made me think about the difference. I don't know really what the terms are exactly, what they mean. By the way, this iguana bite. Picked up Rocky yesterday and I was cuddling her and she nipped me. Hurts? Yeah. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, the term old atheist versus new atheist. I don't hear the term old atheist very much. You hear new atheist all the time. I have really no idea what the difference is. This is my interpretation of the two kinds of atheists. I mean, there's more than 2 kinds. Obviously, there's all kinds of kinds. Every atheist is going to be different than the next atheist because we don't have a dogma that we follow. We don't have, there's no book, you know, a little guideline book or whatever. We're just people who don't believe in God. But I'm trying to think of just the 2 different terms, the term new atheist versus, I guess, the opposite, which would be old atheist. I think my definition or my way of interpreting this, an old atheist or somebody who is somebody who has never believed in God, who has never been sucked in to the cult or any cult, who has never believed in the fantastical. They have, since their youth, always looked at the world like, okay, where's the evidence? Is there evidence to show that any of this is true? Well, then why would I believe in it? I think an old atheist is somebody who's always been geared that way. They've always been skeptical. You know, they've always needed some verifiable proof and evidence before they can believe anything. So they've been atheists all their lives. They've never been suckered in. And they go about, they don't think constantly about religion or Christianity or how intrusive it is or all the damage that belief in God creates, or these particular beliefs, especially in these particular gods, Allah and Yahweh. They don't really think much about it at all. They just go about their lives and do what they do. And they probably look at the new atheists who are kicking up a fuss like, what do you care? Just live and let live, dude. Live and let live. You know, that's what I've done since as long as I live. Don't even worry about those people over there that believe in this stupid stuff. Just keep on living your life. Da 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 da. They probably don't understand new atheists very much because they've never been in the same situation, the position that new atheists are in. Now, this is my interpretation of these terms. Whether they're the accurate interpretations, I don't know. This is just my interpretation of what a new atheist is versus an old atheist. And I could be completely wrong, but this is what I think. So they don't really understand why new atheists are angry, or why new atheists are fighting back and are trying to, say, hey, get your stupid cross out of my kid's school. I think old atheists they're used to being stomped on. They've never known what it's like to be among the privileged majority. They've never known what it's like to be able to freely say what they think about things and get pats on the back and encouragement to keep talking, yeah, good job. Yeah, they've never known. All their lives they've been the ridiculed minority. They keep their head down, they keep a low profile. They kind of just detach themselves from the whole religion bullshit stuff, and they live their lives. And they're just used to the fact that God is everywhere, and it doesn't matter what they think or what their beliefs are. God is everywhere, and everybody believes in God, and that's just an assumption. And the fact that they don't, oh well, nobody really needs to acknowledge that, because everybody believes in God. It's like the rest of you who don't believe, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what your comfort level is. It doesn't matter. If you don't like it, leave the country. That's what, they've had that their whole life. They're used to it. It's normal. Okay, now I'm thinking that new atheists are the hordes of people, and there's becoming more and more of them, who used to be Christians or used to be Muslims or used to be something. They used to be believers. They had this great big huge herd that they lived and existed in. They were accepted by the herd. They were part of the herd. They were the privileged majority. And they were used to being able to walk around and freely say what they think and look down their noses. They were encouraged. They were even taught to look down their noses at other people, to be scornful and mocking of other beliefs, to immediately assume all other beliefs are wrong and their beliefs are right. They're used to, just having everything that they say is just, it's what, it's basically what the majority thinks, so nobody challenges them really. They're just used to being the popular ones, the accepted ones, the ones who can just, when they say what they think, the majority agrees with them, and it's a good thing, and they get pats on the head and encouragement. Yay, way to go, way to fight for God. Yeah, they're used to being on the team. They're used to being team players. They're used to not rocking the boat. They know what it's like. They've been there. They've lived their lives being one of the majority, the privileged majority, who rarely or ever, probably never know what it's really like to be ridiculed and mocked or persecuted. That's changed now, of course, because more and more former Christians who think it's okay to persecute people are now atheists. And that's the other thing. The new atheists are damaged people. We have been damaged by the cults that we've been in. We've been damaged by our years being the majority, thinking it's okay to mock and persecute and make fun of. We're used to that. That's how we've always been. And it used to be perfectly okay to do that, even encouraged. We were encouraged to ridicule and mock and make fun of other people's beliefs. Don't believe it. Just look at the way Christians mock atheists and mock other people who have different beliefs. You're basically, it's okay to do that. When you're a Christian, it's okay to mock and make fun of and ridicule and persecute. So as an atheist, we're hardwired to, it's okay to do that. So Christians don't like it when atheists mock and persecute and ridicule them. Well, I'm thinking most of the atheists that are doing that are former Christians, that they've been raised to have these bad habits, to think it's okay to mock and ridicule and persecute and put people down and laugh. Ha ha ha, you believe in that bullshit. Oh, We've been raised to think it's perfectly okay. So we have bad habits. I think we also have a lot of resentment because, my gosh, we've been used to being the privileged majority, and now suddenly we don't get to have all those special privileges anymore. Now when we say our opinion, it's a bad thing. Oh, Diane, you shouldn't be so negative. Ooh, everything you're saying is so negative. No, it's not negative. It's just anti what you want to hear. So you perceive it as negative because it's contradictory to what you want to hear. What you want is affirmation that your beliefs are so true. And anybody who says anything else, that's negative. Well, former Christians are used to having the pats on the back for saying what they think. Now we don't get pats on the back. We get, oh, you're so angry. Well, you should just keep that to yourself. Why are you criticizing us? You're putting us down. You're making fun of our beliefs. They don't like it when, they resent the fact that they can no longer freely express their opinion without getting attacked for it and being told that they're bad, evil people just for having a different opinion. It's hard when you're used to being the privileged majority to suddenly become the minority, and one of the only minorities in this country that it's still okay to ridicule and persecute and I'm trying to think of the word, discriminate against. It's okay to discriminate against, sorry, my computer's on. It's okay to discriminate against an atheist. That's okay. Excuse me. It's not okay to discriminate against gays. At least we're coming to the point where people are understanding that discriminating against gay people is bad. I wish that would happen for atheists. I wish that people could, it's not okay to discriminate against atheists. It's not okay to assume that an atheist is a bad person, or, oh, you just love your sin, without even showing any evidence that a God exists. There's no such thing as sin. But we get to hear that all the time, too. Oh, you're just blind. You're blind and you're lost. We get to hear stuff like that, and it's okay. Yeah, you Christians are getting patted on the back for saying that about people. You're getting encouraged by your peers to ridicule and persecute atheists. It's okay to do that. But then when one of you becomes an atheist and you start ridiculing and persecuting and making fun of the other side, that's not so okay, is it? You don't like it. When the shoe is on the other foot and the other people are doing it back to you, it's not so fun anymore, is it, when it's you being ridiculed and mocked? You don't like it. You really don't like it. Oh, suddenly atheism is a problem, and new atheists are a problem because they're acting just like you toward you. It's like looking in the mirror and seeing what it looks like and getting to feel how it feels to be the other guy who's being ridiculed and mocked. You don't like it, do you? Well, that's what new atheists do, I think, mostly because, and again, this is my definition or my understanding of what the term means. I really don't know what the term new atheist means. Side note, disclaimer. But that's what I think. I think the people who have been hardwired to be all these accepted behaviors, it's okay to be these things. They're hardwired to think it's even a good thing to be these things. Now they're atheists and they're still doing those things. And it's really not nice. It's really not nice. It's really bad, and they should know better. But they don't know better because all their lives they've been told it's a good thing. They've been part of the herd. It's okay to do that. It's okay to mock people for believing in something other than what you believe. It's okay to put them down and ridicule them. So they keep doing those behaviors as atheists, and the Christians don't like it. They don't like it when it's being directed at them. Another thing, I think new atheists are resentful. They're resentful, first of all, because the cult has fucked them up. Being in the cult has fucked them up. They have to unlearn a lot of bad habits, including the idea that, it's okay to mock people. You don't mock somebody. You mock the cult. Keep the focus on mocking the cult and the belief system that poisons people and twists people up inside and makes them think things that are just disgusting. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of the name, the Duggar families in the news. I try to avoid reading as much as possible about this disgusting family with the broodmare wife who's like a Pez dispenser pumping out kids so they can be famous. Now they're back in the news. From what I glean of it, because I haven't really read about it, one of the boys, or maybe more, but at least one of the boys is sexually abusing his sisters. And some Christian writes on Facebook this morning, well, he's just a boy. He's being a normal boy. Boys are curious. You're defending a sex offender. This is what I'm saying. The cult twist people up inside. So they're actually defending a sex offender. Oh, he's a brother of Christ. I'm going to pray for him. No, he's a sex offender. And he should be in juvie. Anyway, another thing I think that new atheists are resentful about is they've been lied to all their lives. Imagine what it's like. First of all, people think that people could just become an atheist at the drop of a hat. I'm not going to believe anymore because it's the cool thing to be. It's cool to be an atheist. It's very painful to come to the realization that all the things, your beliefs become so dear to you. They become a part of you and your identity. It's like having an arm or leg ripped off your body. It's painful and you don't want that. You resist that. You try to fight that. No, there is a God. I don't know what I'm thinking. I mean, you go a long time where you're in denial. It's a painful process to become an atheist. It's a painful process to slowly realize you've been lied to your whole life. You've been walking around believing and assuming things based on absolutely nothing except hearsay and what a book says. It's hard to realize that you've been that stupid, and it's really hard to face the fact that people that you love have lied to you. They don't realize they've lied to you because they've been lied to by people who've been lied to, and so on and so on and so on. But it sucks when you realize you've been lied to all your life. It really sucks to realize that you've been lying all your life to other people and promoting stuff that isn't true. Like, it's just a given that it's true. You never bothered to do the work. You never bothered to research to see if it was true before you started walking around advertising it and like it's true and trying to get other people to believe just like you without first doing the homework and making sure. But I think another thing that atheists are resentful of, and I hate it when this happens, when I lose my train of thought. I'm talking fast because I don't have a lot of time. I totally lost my train of thought. They've been damaged by the cult. They've been lied to. They have to learn new habits. Oh, I did figure out what the last one that I wanted to say. It happened to me when I first was becoming an atheist. I was still in the process. I watched the Zeitgeist film, the first one. I think it's part 2, where they talk about religion. I watched that film. In fact, it's part of what started me on my road to becoming an atheist. And I walked around, ooh, you gotta watch this film. You just watch part 2. That's the part that's true. All the rest of it isn't true, but part 2 of the film is true. Yeah, I walked around believing everything that part of the film said. Hook, line, and sinker. I had bad study habits from being a Christian. I was used to assuming things are true just because a book says or a movie says. Just assume because it's got a fancy presentation and a fancy has some cool music and some cool visuals. And they're saying things like it's true. This is There's a long list of all these savior gods that are just like Jesus, and it's scrolling by hundreds of names. Just assume it's true and walk around and spout off all this stuff that the movie says like it's actual fact without bothering to research first. I had those bad habits when I first became an atheist, and I am guilty of doing the same thing as an atheist as I did as a Christian. I assumed everything I read, everything I saw was true. I didn't bother to research myself. I didn't bother to look at other books and compare. and see, well, you know, funny thing, a lot of really respected atheists are embarrassed by the Zeitgeist film. It's like, oh my God, that's a piece of crap. Oops. And I was telling people about it. I was promoting it. I was saying that this is true because this film says so. You know, you have to learn. It's hard to be a skeptic when you've gone your whole life assuming things on hearsay, based on hearsay, or because a book or a movie says, or somebody with an authoritative voice says so. So it must be true. You have to unlearn how to it's hard work to become a skeptic. You can't just become a skeptic overnight. You're used to magical thinking. You're used to believing because someone says so. Or, ooh, a whole bunch of people believe, so it must be true. So that's another thing I feel resentful about, is I embarrassed myself as an atheist. Now I'm a little bit more aware of the fact that just because something says so, it doesn't necessarily mean it's true. It's probably a good idea to read more than just one thing before you form your conclusions. Throw out what, you know, other scholars disagree with, or maybe at least question, well, so-and-so says this, but this scholar over here doesn't really think this scholar over here knows what they're talking about, you know? Seeing the big picture. Learning how to not just assume, learning how to not just believe because a book says. It's hard work to get to the point where you're no longer like that. So that's it. I just wanted to say that I think that atheists, new atheists, the kind of atheists that used to be theists, the kind of atheists that are used to being part of the privileged majority, and now they're kind of pissed off that they can't just freely express their opinion anymore without being ridiculed and mocked and told they're bad, horrible, angry people. They're here to stay. There's going to be a lot more of them because more and more people are looking things up. They're Googling things. You know, the more outspoken new atheists there are, the more people are going to hear this. Well, hey, you know, I believe that too until I looked it up, until I started to research. More people are going to hear other people saying, I thought it was true, just like you, I thought it was true, until I researched. I thought it was true, until I actually read the whole Bible. There's another thing. Christians just don't read the Bible. They carry it around. It's heavy, it's thick. Look, this book that's this thick says what I believe, so it must be true. What I believe has so much authority because it's got this thick book that, you know. Actually, there's very little about Christianity that resembles what's in that book. Christianity is based on a few chapters. And then, you really should research how those chapters came to be written, when they became to be written, and by who. So that's it. New atheists are here to stay. They're only going to get more and more of them. There's also going to be the other kind, and they're going to continue to be naturally there. Kids that just couldn't believe because there's no reason to believe it. There's nothing but a book. What does a book prove? What is so-and-so in that robe over there saying it prove? Just because he says it doesn't make it true. There's always going to be the people that have just come to the conclusion from a very young age that none of it's true because there's no evidence. And they're just used to always being, well, if you don't like it, leave the country. They're used to that. They've had that their whole lives. But for those of us who got the pats on the back and the acclamation and the good jobs every time we mocked people, more and more people like that are going to be around. More and more angry atheists. Maybe not so much angry. That's a stereotype. People who want to change the world for the better. People who are resentful. People who don't like the fact that they were lied to. And they want to try to help other people who are being lied to. People who want to help others and change the world and make it a better place. That's what new atheists are. But they do have to unlearn those bad habits. I have them. I might always have them. But I'm aware of them. And that's the best thing you can do, is be aware of your problems and work on them and try to learn and be better every day. That's all anybody can do. So anyway, I gotta go. I gotta get ready for my class. If you've been watching, thanks. Bye!
I I am absolutely convinced that the main source of hatred in the world is religion. And I think it should be religion treated with ridicule and hatred and contempt.
Share the same weather, winter or summer, May or September, the 4th of whenever, it's better together. Let's get together. Home is where